All right. Hey there, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. Extremely excited about this. We have a lot of listeners here today, so really excited to bring today's topic. We're going to be diving in exactly how to leverage Facebook for recruiting. So I know this in today's competitive job landscape, it's super urgent to be able to find the right candidates for your open positions, and we can't afford to fall behind with outdated recruitment marketing tactics. So my promise to you by the end of this webinar is that you'll learn exactly how to use and leverage targeted social media ads, Facebook and Instagram. Those are the platforms we're going to be talking about today. How to leverage those platforms to attract the right workers to your organization. Quick intro. My name is Sam Byler. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at BoostPoint. I have over a decade's worth of experience with targeted social media ads. And 5 years ago, I co-founded BoostPoint with a mission to bring the value of social media advertising to the recruitment space. So that's what BoostPoint is all about in our company, our platform. Since we've launched, we've helped hundreds of organizations like USPS, Kohler, Gentiva hire employees, thousands of employees by leveraging platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Excited to jump into that. So I want to first kind of set the stage here. Like, what are some of the secrets that we can implement to unlock talent in today's competitive landscape? And then how does social media answer some of these things? So one of the first things is bypassing the talent shortage by going to the passive candidates, not just the active candidates. So making sure you're advertising on places that are outside of just job boards like Facebook and Instagram. They're not job boards. And you can place ads to get more attention, more direct attention to your job ads, because they're not ads that are just listed with dozens of other, job ads on a landing page or on a web page. Another key thing is in the world of AI, most HR talent acquisition organizations are implementing AI into your recruitment process, which is awesome. But we also have to realize that the candidates are also starting to implement AI in their job seeking journey. Right now, there's an average, the average job seeker applies to 1 to 200 jobs before they find their next opportunity. So while the volume of applicants has been increasing, the quality has been decreasing because of that from job boards. There's a lot of tools that candidates can sign up for where basically, hey, here's my profile, here's my LinkedIn profile, here's my resume. Go automatically find jobs that fit this criteria and mass and auto apply to 100 positions a day is what they can do. So with social media, you're bypassing that mass apply or auto apply through AI that candidates have access to. And I'll dive into exactly what that looks like on social media and how you're able to bypass that. So diving into what's a solution look like then? How do we pull these pieces together? I'm going to share a quick story here of what the value can look like when you're properly implementing social media ads to your recruitment strategy. This is a story of one of the largest senior care providers in the US. They came to us and they're saying, hey, we believe in social media. They really believed in it, going after the passive job seeker along with the other strategies that they're doing. And they're like, we believe Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok can be a great solution for this. So they tried several different implementations. One of their implementations was they spent $10K in a month. They got a ton of impressions, ton of clicks, but zero hires. And they were really like, okay, really to be able to scale this and to be able to believe in the investment, they have to track invested dollars into hires. So they tried that. They got maybe 10 to 15 candidates, 10 to 15 applicants, but no hires. So they were like, we still believe in social. What are some other ways to implement this? They came to us. with a similar budget, and right away, immediately, they started seeing candidates coming in the door. There, after a 3-month pilot and a study, they really went through the data. They saw their cost per hire was $800 to $900 per hire, which was within line, and this was in their most competitive markets. And that was within line of what they were seeing with Indeed and other job boards, and in some markets, even more efficient cost per hire than job boards. And so right now they're spending like $20K a month on social media through our platform consistently. And we've helped hundreds of companies implement this exact solution that I'm about to go through. But that's the results that you should expect to see with successful social media implemented into your recruitment strategy. Is you should be able to track advertising dollars to not just qualified candidates, but to hires. And so we work with organizations of all sizes. Some companies with 20, 30K monthly budgets, some companies with $1,000, monthly budgets are using our platform. So let's go ahead and dive into, I'm going to share my screen here for a second and, look at, like, Facebook's really good at taking your money. And it's really easy to, launch ads on these platforms. It's easy to waste money as well. But what is the exact strategy where you can expect success from social media right off the get-go? So I'm going to share my screen here and walk through exactly what this process looks like and what the boxes you need to be checking to make sure that you have a successful campaign running. So this slide here shows the candidate journey experience. And so I'm going to start here as far as like, this is the journey that you want to create for the candidate coming through social media. And so this starts with the right ad to the right person at the right time. And so you're taking your job descriptions, reformatting that into an engaging social media ad. So the anatomy of like a Facebook ad is you have a headline, you have ad copy, and then you have the visual component, which is different than job boards. Photos, videos, extremely important. Talk a little bit more about that in a minute or two. So that's the first thing, getting the right ad in front of the right person. The second thing is conversion. You really need to think about, like, how are we capturing the candidate's data and how are we interacting with that? The big thing here, this is the most common thing that I see missed as far as implementation goes of social media. You can have everything else right, but if you don't have the conversion, if you're just sending traffic to maybe your Workday application or your on-site, on your career site application, you're going to see a huge drop off versus what we recommend is capturing that candidate data within the social media platform. So that's step two. The third thing is connecting with that candidate in a timely manner. And we really believe in SMS, especially with, these candidates. Almost all of these candidates are coming from a mobile experience, Facebook, Instagram. These are mobile apps. And so that is how they're interacting with your job ad. And so the idea is they apply within 30 seconds while they still have their phone in their hand. They're getting a message from your recruitment team. This is an automated tool that we have saying, "Hey, Sam, thanks so much for applying for our open position. When can we connect? When can we jump on a call to talk more about the opportunity," or whatever that next stage in the hiring journey is. So let's dive into this a little bit further as far as from the beginning, how do we target? So one of the nice things about social media is you can be very geo-fence your ads. So basically, I'll zoom in here a little bit. You can pinpoint, based off of your locations. It's like, hey, say you're a healthcare organization hiring RNs. Like, what are the hospitals that you're hiring in? You're a transportation company. You're hiring CDL drivers. Where's your biggest needs? So you can target specific areas and be very specific. So you're not getting, you're not pushing an ad and getting candidates, that are just automatically disqualified because they're not from the area, because all these impressions are targeted to people within the geography that you're selecting. The second thing is your ad copy. what's your creative look like? First thing is the text portion of your ad. The boost point process is you basically just send us a link to your job description, wherever, a PDF, upload that through our platform. And then from there, we keep the integrity of the job, but then we're reformatting that to be engaging on social media. So the right headline, the right ad text, reformatting a job description and making it engaging for a person scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram. Right here, I'm also going to talk about the ad. There's a big one here, the ad creative. What does what photos and videos, are you using? Through the BoostPoint platform, basically, all you need to do is you send us your job description and we create everything for you. So whether you're, using your own content or, getting us to create your content, that's, what's easiest. We can take care of that from A to Z. So this is an example of what we've seen, especially the last 3 to 6 months. Vertical video has kind of taken over on these social media platforms, that format. I'm going to play this video here, make sure my volume's up.
We are hiring in your local area. There's great pay, awesome benefits. Click the link below to apply.
We are hiring in your local area. There's great pay and awesome benefits. Click the link below to apply.
So those are great examples of videos that are really performing in today's social media landscape. You're taking these 7 to 10 second video clips, UGC style, user generated style is what's really performing well, and just highlighting some of the key aspects of the job. It's a very personal video and it's branded to your brand. Again, we can create these for you. We have there's a product within the BoostPoint platform where the only thing you have to do is share your job description and these get created for you. The importance of video here, why video is so important, is because we're seeing 2 to 3x better ROI leveraging this style of video content versus static images. So that means with the same budget, only implementing video in that, you're going to 2 to 3x the amount of qualified candidates that you're going to receive from an initial campaign with the same budget, just by adding video to your ads. And then again, the last thing here is the conversion side of things. So again, what we strongly recommend, our system is, someone's scrolling on Facebook, you got your job out there, you have, your high quality video, they click on the ad, then they are directed to an in-platform click apply process. So this is a form, an application within the Facebook and Instagram platform. When they click on it, they're not going off the platform where we see a huge drop off. With these, they've put a lot of additional features that are really nice into these quick apply processes where you can still implement qualifying questions. Like say you have certain criteria that, say it's a CDL position. All right, you need a CDL class A, a caregiver. Are you a previous caregiver? Are you an RN? Do you have an RN license? All the absolute requirements for a position, you can add those as qualification questions. And then you can even do logic-based forms, which what this means is based on how they answer those questions is how you're channeling or creating the next part of the experience. So, it's an RN and you require an RN license. If they say, no, I don't have that yet, you can deter them from applying for the position so that, the only ones that you're actually receiving as applications are the ones that are pre-screened, pre-qualified based on how they are answering these questions. And so again, the other great thing about social media, like I mentioned before, that I'll mention again, is these ads, they're showing up where you're the only job. This is showing up right within, someone's on their lunch break or in the evening, scrolling through Facebook. It's in the news feed. It's in stories or the reels section within Instagram. That's where your ad is showing up. And so you really have their attention as the only employer that's advertising to them in that moment, because it's not another job board where you're, one of the dozens being shown to that candidate at that given time. The next thing I want to dive a bit deeper into is this engagement. So what does engagement look like? This really wraps up, this candidate experience through social, because you can get all of the qualified candidates coming in the funnel, but really for them to convert into hires, we need to connect with them first. And the best way we've seen to do this through the social media channel is through text messaging. So the BoostPoint platform, we have an automated SMS tool built in that our team has created. So you can create specific automated workflows to automatically engage with candidates that are coming through the pipeline. So what this looks like, it's not like a fully automated or like AI conversation platform. It's basically initially engaging with the candidate. And when the candidate responds, that's where your recruitment team is jumping in and hijacking that conversation and taking that over. So an example workflow that I could create is, hey, as soon as someone applies for this position through social, send them an initial text message saying, hey, when are you available to jump on a call? Because maybe, that's the next thing in my recruitment process, or, what's that next bit of information that you need to capture from them? You can, and if they don't respond to that, you could ping them again the next day, ping them, 3 days after that. And so you can have this kind of drip style campaign where you're, reaching out to them as soon as they reply. That is when your recruitment team is notified. Recruiters have their own logins right here. It's a very simple UI of communicating to the candidates. Again, they're notified when John Doe, replies to that message. And then the recruiter jumps in and continues that conversation to move the candidate forward in the hiring process and in the hiring journey. So SMS as an automated follow-up tool is extremely valuable for connecting with candidates. Our customers that leverage our SMS tool see double the conversion rate as far as leads coming in to interviews scheduled, just by having an automated system to initially connect with the candidate. And it's super helpful. It just saves time too. Like from recruiters, it's like, all right, you have a busy day, you're doing a ton of things, and when a candidate comes in, you can be assured that, hey, I know an outreach is going out, right away to connect with the candidates as they're, coming into our pipeline. The other thing that's unique about our platform is we can integrate with tools as well. So say you're like, hey, Sam, I already have a text message piece. Like maybe I'm on the Phenom platform, or I'm on, iSIMS, and they already have a text messaging tool that we're leveraging. Awesome. We can integrate with ATS platforms. If you want all this candidate data to, go into, your standard ATS, if you have automation there, we can integrate with platforms. That's another thing that makes us unique versus other solutions is our platform has integration capabilities with most of the HRIS and ATS platforms in the market today. So that's kind of full circle. That's the system there. It's a simple process. It can be hard to implement, but this is the exact steps. Like if you check all these boxes, you can launch a campaign confidently that you're going to see results. You're going to see hires coming in through your campaigns. I'll go through okay, some more of the results. Let's go through some more okay, what's the track record? What are some other give me some other examples of how this works. And I'm going to be doing Q&A. Just a quick reminder, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I'm going to be doing Q&A at the end here. So feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A and I'll get to them here in about 5-10 minutes. But I'll give a couple examples is okay, this system, I talked about that example at the beginning, maybe you're a smaller organization, you're not spending $20K a month, in job advertising. We one example of a client we started working with, we work with a lot of home instead franchises, doing senior care, providing senior care. This was a quarter over a quarter. We increased their qualified candidate volume by 400%. They saw 68 hires within that period. The big thing here, the biggest barrier to growth was their hiring. Like their key metric is serviceable hours. Over that 3-month period, we increased that 49% with the hires that they saw through our platform. We recently started working with About Kids. They're hiring registered behavioral technicians. So this is an example of a fairly specific type of candidate. There's a lot of qualification needed to be a registered behavioral technician. And after working with us for a while, they said, you've done more for us the past 2 weeks than Indeed's done for us this whole year. We've been doing this for companies like Kohler, Renewal by Anderson, Fairview Health Services, a lot in transportation, hospitality, many others. If someone asks me, it's like, hey, where's a good, fit for social media? High volume hiring is usually like one of the things, if you're trying to, it's usually not the best fit if you're doing like trying to fill executive roles or like super, super like high skilled, high requirement types of positions. Can be a little hit and miss there sometimes, but anywhere where it's like, high volume, especially like hourly positions, this is a great fit for. The next thing is like, okay, so that's the like how. What's the implementation look like? Again, this is what we do at BoostPoint. It's been our mission the past 5 years to make this accessible, because we understand that it's like, okay, it's one thing to know what works. It's another thing like, okay, how do I implement this? I believe this. Social media sounds great. We've been wanting to implement this, but like, what's the hurdle? Our mission has been to make this more accessible than ever. That's our mission at BoostPoint. And we believe in innovation in recruitment marketing and removing all of the barriers to that as possible. So one of the things we've done, again, we've been providing the service through our platform. So BoostPoint, like we are a social media platform, we're a software, but then we also provide the services to back this up. So basically that experience is, hey, you give us, your job descriptions. We can either monitor your job feed and automatically, programmatically launch all these job ads for your specific recs, or you can do these ad hoc style campaigns where it's like, hey, I'm hiring this position. Here is the job description, and then you're approving a certain budget and the creatives and all of that, more like ad hoc style, or we can just monitor your job feed. But one of the things we did last year is we do month-to-month agreements. It's like, we believe in this solution so much where it's like, we're not going to, like, if we're working, you're going to use us, but we're not going to do like force you into a long-term contract. And so that's one of the things we offer. It's like, hey, you can jump in, it's month to month. If it's working, awesome. We believe, you'll continue to work with us. If for some reason it's not, you're not locked into a long-term contract. Another thing that we've seen that can be a hurdle to implementation is your time investment. I know like you have a finite amount of time, and there's limited resources in talent acquisition when it comes to time. And so that's another thing we've worked hard on. Like, this is not a 6-month implementation process. The process, with BoostPoint is you jump on like a strategy call where we talk about your specific positions, define the right budget for you, and then you're jumping and scheduling an onboarding call. That's an hour call, and then your ads are live within a week of that first onboarding call. So your time investment as well, that's something we really value, and we try to minimize that where, again, it's us really doing the heavy lifting there in onboarding and not you and your team. So we've really tried to eliminate all of the perceived risk involved in, starting social media. I often look at it as like most of the companies I talk to, there's almost more risk not trying social media, because you could be overspending for, unqualified candidates on other platforms. And if that feels like you, I talk to a lot of people that are frustrated right now with, increasing job board advertising prices and are looking for other solutions. There are other solutions out there. You can alleviate some of that frustration by diversifying some of your recruitment advertising spend through platforms like social media. Going to get to Q&A here in a second. If this is something that you'd like to have further discussions about with my team and look to potentially, hey, let's talk about implementing this into our organization, I am putting a link in the chat right now. It's the Boost Point link in the chat. Basically, there you can schedule a free strategy call with one of our experts. What that call will look like, a 30 to 45-minute call. We'll look at, hey, what are your job openings? What's the volume? What's the quantity? Work towards a starting budget that you can, again, adjust that month to month. And then look at scheduling your onboarding call from there and getting things live. So if this is something that you're like, Sam, this sounds great, I'd love to look at what this could look like to get started for my organization, go ahead, click that link in the chat there, schedule time to connect with us, and we'll take it from there. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention, thank you for joining this webinar. There's a lot of attendees here. We had a great turnout. If you do get started, if you're on this webinar and you get started with our solution within the next 2 weeks, we're going to contribute 10% of your initial advertising budget to add to that first campaign. So that's our money. We're going to contribute 10% of your total first month's budget and give you a little bit more of a boost to say, hey, here's a little bit more, value that you can see out of your first campaign. So if you're on this webinar right now and you sign up within the next 2 weeks, we're going to put some of our money behind your first campaign. That's how much we believe in this solution. I've seen it work for hundreds of organizations. And this is just a solution that we're trying to eliminate all the risk to get started. And yeah, make it super, super simple, super easy. So go ahead, do that. If that interests you, we're going to jump into Q&A right now. So I have some questions already. What data insight is available? Awesome question. So this gets me excited because we are a very database organization. Again, zooming back, it's a lot of people that have tried social media before or through other solutions. It's I get such limited data. I get impressions, maybe clicks, but how many candidates did I get? How many hires did I get? With Boost Point, you get full transparency. You have a live dashboard that you can jump into. You can jump on even with your dedicated customer success rep if you're hey, help walk through some of this data with me. But the data is pretty simple. It's you get to see, hey, this is how much I spent on this campaign for this position. Here's how many impressions, how many people saw my ad. Here is how many people clicked on my ad. Here's how many people applied for the position. And then from there, you can even track, here's how many people I scheduled interviews. Here's how many people that I eventually hired. So we really believe in, if you have the desire, being able to track cost per hire, way down into that, down that far in the funnel, those types of metrics. Do you work with any travel nursing agencies? And if so, what kind of results do they see? Yes, we work with a lot of travel nurse hiring agencies, some direct organizations that are hiring as well for nurses, hospitals. Healthcare is a big space for us. And we're seeing really, really good results here. Your typical CPA for nurses, it depends region to region, but typically you're looking between $14 and $25 per applicant. If you start to, do the math of, hey, I spent $5,000 and here's how many candidates I got from that. So it's often, again, our CPAs, we're usually seeing a little bit in nurse hiring specifically, usually even a little bit more efficient than what, Indeed and some job boards are able to provide. Can you settle, looking at some more questions here. Can you settle a debate by having with my peers? Is your background virtual or real? It is a real background, actually. real background. This is our offices are located in Lancaster, PA. We are like an hour outside of Philadelphia. Thanks for the fun question there. Boost Point, yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. So a couple more questions here. Gonna keep going through some of these. Okay, so does this go out to the Instagram platform as well, since younger folks are on Instagram more than Facebook? Yes. So we advertise through the Meta platform. So Meta purchased Instagram, owns both the Facebook and Instagram brand. Instagram and Facebook, yes. 81% of the US population is active on Facebook. Between the combination of these two platforms, like that's why we're focused on Facebook and Instagram. Is like, sure, there's like LinkedIn, there's TikTok, there's so many, Twitter, so many other social media channels. We've tested a lot of them, and where we've seen the best ROI is Facebook and Instagram. And so yeah, that's the answer to that question there. Who is the biggest hospitality company you have as a client? So we do quite a bit in hospitality. We work with, I'm not just going to name drop. We've been given permission to, name drop some of our clients. We don't have that with all of our clients, but we work with some of the biggest hotels, hiring hospitality staff, maybe it's housekeepers, admins, front desk individuals. We work with some really large restaurant brands as well, hiring like back of kitchen staff, cooks, servers, do quite a bit in the hospitality space. Wanting the same question. Okay, so nurses, but for technologists like X-ray, CT, MRI. Yes, we have some experience here. Again, what I usually love to do is on a one-on-one call, we can look at your specific roles that you're looking to hire for, and we can dive into some of our historical data, give you some estimates as far as like how many candidates that you should be able to receive from a certain budget. Nurses, like that's one I have off my hand. I know our CPA there, but I know we've had success with some of those other technology positions in healthcare as well. So we'd be happy to dive deeper into that on a one-on-one if you'd like. Another question here. Oh, this is a great question. Extremely confused. I've used Facebook for recruiting before, but then it was no longer allowed. Is it allowed now? Like, clear up some of this confusion. Okay, so Facebook did have a job board at one point. For I think it was 3 years, they had something similar to like the Craigslist product, where you could it was a legit job board where you could get a lot of organic reach, by just sharing your jobs on your careers page to the Facebook jobs. So it was like a Facebook job board. They sunsetted that in 2022. I believe it was February of 2022. Yes, they removed Facebook jobs from the Facebook app. So basically what that in turn, like any organic reach you could get to your jobs on Facebook was taken away completely. They had their reasons for that. It was misused for a number of different things that I won't go into right now. But yes, that specifically was removed from the Facebook platform. So what we have available today through Facebook is their advertising platform. Advertising platform is outside of their jobs. And it's not a part of their jobs platform. So you can still run targeted ads, employment ads through their advertising platform, but that is, yes, very different than their organic jobs platform that they had a number of years ago. Yes, I did say Lancaster. You said Lancaster correctly. Yes. Is it available in Canada? Yes, we are available in Canada. Is this affordable for small businesses? Yes. If you usually the minimum, again, we build budgets based off of your need. Most the starting budget, you'll want to at least be able to invest $1,000 per month into our solution. If you're not able to budget that, you won't see as enough of an impact really for it to be worth it. But yeah, if you're a small business, definitely a great solution. If you can budget, at least $1,000 per month. Going through some of these last questions here. Might not be able to get to all of them. Here's one. Okay. Actually, I have two more questions. I should be able to get to all these. Does your organization work with staffing agency supporting the healthcare field? Yes. We do work with staffing agencies as well as, hiring organizations directly with the logos. We work with both. Do we have banking clients? I believe so. We have banking clients. I want to understand, what positions you're hiring in the banking industry. So feel free to, schedule a call with us and we can dive into, your specific position types. And I think affordable, got that one, Canada. I think that's all of our questions. All right, we're going to sign off. Again, if this is something you want to take a closer look at, like getting launched within a week or two is totally possible. If you're like, hey, we want to try this, there's that link in the chat. We'll contribute up to 10% of your first campaign with our advertising dollars. If that's something you want to get started fairly soon. Other than that, feel free to shoot me an email as well. If you have more questions, you can reach out to me, sam@boostpoint.com. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, thanks so much for spending some time with me here today, and we'll see you later.